Shalom, 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 fam. I'm back again. I told you guys there have been videos that I have wanted to make, but I haven't been able to make them because I al- there's always something that I don't have yet. So, and I don't know what it is, what else I need to go with, but I know there's something not there. And so there's always a halt. So, on this video that I'm going to do today, I'm going to do right now, we're going to talk about black and white. Well, maybe not quite white or black, but let's talk about hues and white, Wight, or is it Wite? Man, so much confusion. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, fair use is invoked for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute when an otherwise infringement may occur. Usages for nonprofit educational purposes tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised. So today, so the reason that I'm putting out this video now is because of something that I heard yesterday. And I want to thank the brother Remedy H. If you guys have not, don't know who he is or have not seen his last video, White Not White, go and see that video because this is the reason that I can now put this video out. I've had this video that I wanted to put together for probably about 3 months now, but I didn't because I knew that I didn't have everything I needed to put it out. But because of his video, I'm able to put this video out. So we're going to actually talk about the reason behind the black and white. His video has some information about the other melanated beings, King James and all those crew who look like us, but not us, probably the laggards, and their involvement in this entire black and white scheme against the angelic beings. The reason that the people who are not the angelic beings don't know who they are is because all of the confusion and the lies over the centuries, our ancestors were misguided. Many people have been misguided by the foundation of lies that have been played upon the angelics. So if you have not seen his video, please go watch that video. It will help you understand some things. Look, I don't agree with everything the brother says, but there are a lot of things that he says that's right. Um, I don't agree with anything, a lot of things that anybody says that even looks, I mean, other beings that look like us. I don't believe in trying to tell people who they are, what to read, what not to read, who they're supposed to be, what they're supposed to be doing. I can give you the information, and whether you do it or not, it's completely up to you. And this is what it's all about. We're trying the best that we can to undo all of the lies, the manipulation, the deception by the wickedness that and the factions that still lie before us. Trust me, there are a lot of people out there who are melanated that are in with these other beings. They have helped to lay the foundation of this wickedness. There are factions and factions and factions of people out there who look like us who are trying to draw the angelic beings in, even those who say they're awakening or those who are trying to wake up because they're trying to keep them under the umbrella of this corporation, this presidency, and this white, not white buffoonery. And it's not up to anyone to tell you who you should be, who you are, because the Lemurians were here before the Atlanteans. Okay, when Lemuria was destroyed, where did they go? If you notice, a lot of you don't hear a lot about those who came before us. You hear a lot about some of those who came before us, but there's nothing out there really to say, that the Lemurians are still here. They are. There is not a lot that, the say anything about those who were here before the Lemurians, which is the reason I put the first video out about who we are not. That tree of life that was put out there for us, the initial one with the tensiferots, that is not us. Those are the other beings. The Sephirots for us are infinite, okay? They are infinite. There's not 10, there's not 11, there are not 12. There's so many more Sephirots out there that deal with us. If there is one out there and it ends with that 10, that is not the tree of life. That is the tree of death because there's an ending to it. So you have to decide who you are. You have to wake up to who you are. Or don't wake up at all, accept who you think you are. It's okay. It's okay. So we're just going to move forward and we're going to do the best that we can to bring the information based on what was given to us. Okay. I don't generally use any names because all of the names of the beings are hidden. They're attached to something else, so that what we believe in our hearts, in our minds, in our spirits, in our bodies is not what it is because those before us have laid the traps for us to fall in too. So no, it's what happened with Christianity. When you go to the very foundation, you realize that Christianity is an outbreak of Catholicism. So when you step into Christianity, you have the Baptist, you have the Catholic, you have the Presbyterians, you have all these different factions. All of these factions that are there are under the guise of something that it's not. And it's to keep us attached to them. In order to come from under this buffoonery, this wickedness, and this hidden hand, you have to come out alone. When it says that you're in the wilderness isn't, if you ever, if you can get anything at all from me, if you get anything from at all from me, get this understanding. You have understanding, you have understanding. Understanding, you go within. The understanding, someone is standing over you. Okay? You're under their standing. This entire system is based on physical and spiritual. The physical is the exoteric knowledge that everyone is given in all of these Christian books, these 66 or 80 books that you're given. This is your exoteric knowledge. You sit back and you wait. You allow someone to tell you who you are and give you the information that you need or the information that you want. This is all under the physical, material beings, okay? Then there's spirituality. There's no such thing as religion. Religion is another part of this physical thing that was given under Christianity and Catholicism, okay? Spirituality is something completely different. Spirituality is the esoteric knowledge, it's the hidden knowledge. The knowledge that was taken from us, was removed from us, so that we could be in darkness. We can be blinded. We can be ignorant. This is what spirituality removes. It removes you from the exoteric knowledge, precepts given to you by man, and it puts you in a new consciousness or awareness that you move yourself from that entire environment because you go within and you get the spirituality of who you are. All of that's defined from within, not from without. So if you get nothing else from any video that anyone gives you, understand the difference between the physical and the spiritual. There's nothing physical that's based on anything spiritual. Let me say that to you again. There's nothing physical that is based on anything spiritual. When I was in church and I read the Bible, I didn't have the understanding that I have now. When I was awakened, I wasn't given the Bible, I was given the Zohar. Now I understand the Bible because I've detached all the information that I was giving earlier, and I've learned it in a different way based on the foundation that was laid for me before me during my awakening. And I didn't get it from any being, any man, anything physical. Everything that was given to me was given to me on a spiritual level because I withdrew from everything that was physical. I don't listen to that buffoonery that they tell now, because when you realize that everything, everything that you've been given is based on a lie, you can remove yourself from that. It's hard. I cannot tell you that my awakening was easy. In fact, I've said on many occasions, I was traumatized. So I get the reason that our people cannot wake up, will not wake up, will not accept the information that we are giving them. I get that because it is hard for them to let go of what they've known, their pastors, their deacons, this Bible that they have that they think they understand, that they read like a Harlequin romance, because to them it's all romanticized. Church romanticizes everything in the Bible. It's not what it is. When you realize that the Bible has nothing to do with what you were given in church, you were like, damn, all those all of that time I spent, and it was all for naught. It's the way I mean, it's the same way I feel about school, about the colleges. Don't get me wrong, everything has its purpose. Everything does. But when you realize that nothing is as it was given to you because now the veil has been lifted, the ignorance has been lifted, it's just a different view from within. So you must go within in order to find the truth. And that last video I did about the Immaculate Conception, all of the lies, virginity had nothing to do with what they told us the virgin birth was. So when you look at it's so funny, because I have so many things running through my head right now, the constellation of Virgo. It's not what oh boy, that's another subject. The constellations are this whole system, everything, none of it is what I thought it was. But there's so many videos in my head right now, and I can't even fathom putting them all out there because the knowledge is massive. It's based on the Bible, but it's not based on the Bible. And so astrology is in the Bible, but did we know that? The constellations are in the Bible, but did they tell us that? Hell no. So, it's so much information. And you cannot get that from the physical. You must remove yourself to the spiritual, to your consciousness, your awareness in order to get the knowledge. So we're going to talk about the hue man, the white man, or hue mankind. And we're going to get to the reason that we were given everything checkerboard in black and white. The yin and yang is black and white. Every damn thing is black and white. It's not. Oh, here we go. So I had you guys looking at a lot of pics while I was talking, okay? When you have some time, go back and look at those because they all have something to do with what I'm going to talk about today. The periodic table, before my job ended in 2015, 2016, and before my awakening, I had this download to put the periodic table on the background on my computer. I, I had no clue why. I never looked at the periodic table. I did not study the sciences. That was not my area of expertise. But I received this download to put it on there, and I did. And every day before I started work, I looked at this periodic table. I could not understand why. And for the longest time, I had no clue about it until one day I started studying or reading about the hues, the colors, and I have a chart on that in here as well. And I've been studying those, off and on, reading about them when I started. I was led to the rays, the information about the rays, and I'll get into some more information about that. But everything started working together, coming together. But I didn't have everything that I needed to make the videos that I wanted to make. And even when Kala started talking about the human, it still did not resonate. Everything did not come together. So before the black rainbow, people started photographing the black rainbow. The night before that black rainbow was shown, I was thinking about something that I had read. I had read about 4 years ago that black and white were colors. And so I thought about that because, okay, there's no white in the rainbow, there's no white, there's no black in the rainbow. So that night before the black rainbow was shown, I wanted to know, I asked a question about the black. Well, if there's no black and white, why, then it must be true because, I've not seen any rainbows that have that color. And a part of the covenant with us had to do with ark of the covenant. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts that they think about the ark of the covenant. But for me, the ark is the head. The coven is where everything is kept, all of the knowledge, everything comes together because when all of the knowledge comes together, the brain is there's no split down the middle. This is the download, the information that I was given. I don't know how true that is, but I'm gonna go with it because it was what I was given. So the arc for me is the head, um, and the pineal is the keystone to that arc. Okay, this is look. I'm not trying to convince anybody, confuse anybody. I'm telling you what was given to me, and this is what I'm going to go with, okay? So when Kala was talking about the human resonance, the human is human. It's not human. And it's another way for them to cover up the information. It's not human, it's human because it's about the colors of the rays. All of these colors are about frequencies, emitted frequencies, and that's what the human is about. It's about the humans. Not about the humankind. It's about the human, okay? Um, so when you start talking about the human, you see all of these colors. This is where it's all coming from. It's coming from the different frequencies, from the planets, from the stars, from the sun, from the moon. All everything is working together. I'm gonna go into how there's so much stuff. And so I'll have to cover that information in another video, but I want you guys to understand what's going on with this the human, because it has to do with us. It has to do with the beings of color, okay, of hue. This black and white thing that they pitted, this racism, it's all a lie. Those people who've been working with the whites, the people, it this is why Remedy Age's video about white, not white is so important because this I couldn't tie some things in his video helped me tie in everything about the humans and about the human resonance, which is the vibration, the harmonics, okay, resonance. That paper, Remedy Age read about them doing a study of how cold it got when they killed off so many of the melanated people. I read that paper and I thought I had saved it, but I could not find it. And I have looked and looked for that paper and I have not been able to find it again. But what he said is true. It's spot on what he said, and this is what they've again been trying to do. All of this, kill offs about melanated people, the women being snatched away, and they're not putting it in the news. Those who are in control of the news, they're behind all of this. They're not alone though. The 83 nations are acting together. There's no doubt about that. None whatsoever. So when you're not hearing things in the news about what's really happening, it's because it's being covered up. It's not about a conspiracy theory and none of this nonsense. It's the truth. This is about the hue people. This is not about black and white racism. They made racism a distraction. This black and white thing a distraction. This white supremacy nonsense, it's all garbage, okay? It's all garbage. But we're going to get to the truth of the matter. So let's talk about the picture that's on the screen right now, the one that says your spiritual energy. I heard one of your illustrious leaders that be on Black Magic, whatever that number thing is. A while back, I saw one of his videos, and when I first saw him, I'm not going to call a name. You just got a bad vibe from him altogether. Didn't like him straight away. Then when I heard him say that this was what happens to you when you die, it kind of pissed me off because he didn't tell you everything. This is what happens to you, not when you die, the death that we're thinking die. It's what happens when you're able to leave your matter body and transform to your light body. Okay? This is what they fear. This is the reason for the destruction of the food and all of these things that they're putting in the body. Because of this. Because what's supposed to happen based on what I'm getting is we're not going anywhere. The earth is supposed to change. We're supposed to subdue the earth. And this is what they're fighting against. Those that were here before the angelics came, they're fighting against them to prevent this from happening. They've known about this all along. All of the cataclysms that have happened. See, back in Lemuria, when the women were attempting to help with the beings, they were actually, I'm not going to go into that. They were trying to help them with, birth and all of this type of things because, they were going to go extinct. But there we go. It's stepping in, women stepping in to help out, and they overpowered us because there were too much wickedness that the women had not seen before or ever had to really deal with. The wickedness was overbearing, and the women of Mu, they couldn't handle it because the men were involved. It was a lot of men that were involved, and they had this plan because they knew what was coming long before the women ever did. So they were trying to prevent this. It's what happened to the cataclysm on Atlantis. That was all planned. That was not something that accidentally happened because of the infighting amongst them, because, they were fighting about these other beings. No, this was all planned. They knew that it was coming and they were trying to prevent it, which is the reason that we're where we are right now. I don't agree with everything that anyone says. I listen to Remedy H a lot. I get what he's saying. There's a lot about what he's saying that people just don't understand the reason that he's saying it. But I'm going to try to clear some of that up for you guys. And I'm going to start with this. This is what they fear. See, they can't control this. They have no control over this. But they've tried to control it through the food and killing off the people, carbon emissions. I'm going to get into that. This is what they're trying to prevent. They're trying to prevent the density change in the matter body. See, this is when the particles, which are here on Earth, the Earth is a particle, has a lot of particles here. And there are a lot of them coming through now. The antiparticle realm is called antiparticles because there are no particles. When the antiparty realm merges with the particle realm, this is what you get. This is the reason there's so many lies, so much wickedness, is because they've been trying to prevent the antiparticle realm from meeting with the particle realm, which is your over self joining your true self, your matter body. Okay. So this is the particle, the antiparticle, and the antiparticle. This is the antiparticle body mixing. They're all coming into being as one, and you'll be able, the antiparticle beings will be able to transform from matter body to antimatter body. Okay? And this is what they're trying to prevent. So I showed you guys earlier the hydrogen color wheel. And so they say the hydrogen is the first element, what they call element on the periodic table of elements, okay? Trying to find it. Where is that table? I'm looking for a table and I can't find it. Man, I thought I had the table marked and I finally found it. Okay, so they told us that our body was what, 70% water? I, eight, whatever. Lies, lies, lies. The body is 72% oxygen, 13.40% carbon, and 9% hydrogen. There's no water on here. Water is inorganic. Their body is probably 70% water because they're the inorganic beings. Don't believe anything that these people tell you because it's all lies. It's all lies. The melanated body is not 70% water. Okay? Their body is. Their body may be, but not ours. Our body is actually 72% oxygen and it's 13, almost 14% carbon. Okay? Don't believe anything these people tell you. But if there's going to be enough hydrogen to meet the expected growth in demand, low carbon production of the gas will need to be scaled up. There is an expanding range of techniques to achieve this, each referred to by a different color. So that's what their hydrogen color wheel is about. They're trying to get rid of the carbon emissions. Melanated beings are the ones that emit carbon. They don't. Okay? You have to take that for what you will. But this color wheel tells you right here. And hydrogen is not white. Hydrogen is a gas, okay? It's not white. So there's no color that is white. White. Okay? That's all. The color is luminous. Okay? All of this stuff that they've given us, it's all lies. These people have been lying through their teeth for a long time. So on this color wheel, they have black and brown hydrogen, and says it represents the traditional process for making hydrogen. You hear that? Which uses either black or brown coal. Lignite. The method releases high amounts of CO2 and carbon monoxide into the atmosphere. In 2020, around a fifth of hydrogen was still made using coal, according to the International Energy Agency. Don't believe anything about these alphabet soup agencies because it's all lies, all deceptiveness. And then gray hydrogen is derived from natural gas. It is the most common production method today, with nearly 60% of hydrogen made in this way, the IEA says. Notice they go back to the IEA, which is the International Energy Agency. Everything around this plane deals with energies, okay? Everything. They cannot control this. They are trying to, and they've used the AI chemistry to do what they could, but they can't control this because those energies that are coming from the sun, they are frequencies, and those colors are emanating the different frequencies that are coming through the rays. They can't control this. They think that they can, and this is the reason now, there's a mass melanated kill off, is because they think that they can, and they're putting this crap in the sky because they think that they can use the techniques that they used before for the destruction of our people. And so they're trying to go back into the old playbook and bring out these old play rules, the play systems that they've used, the programming that they've used before, to try to do what they did in the past. Because what they did in the past is they killed off the elders, the people with the knowledge. They killed them off so that they could restart their playbook. And this is what they're trying to do again. All of the lies are being revealed. And they're trying to stop it, which is the reason that they're trying to ban TikTok, which they're not going to do. They're trying to cause all these distractions, with the melanated beings, put them back in these churches, because that's where the energy came from. Our people in those churches worshiping that Caucasian monster that they gave us, sapping away all of our energy because it was caught up in this white Zeus. And I'm not talking about WHITE either. And our people still caught up in this mess. The blue hydrogen involves steam reforming of natural gas, as with gray hydrogen, but then capturing the resultant CO2 emissions. This carbon dioxide can then be either stored or used in industrial applications that need it as feedback. This is what, again, I'm going to say this AI chemistry table, chemicals in the periodic table of these what they call elements. That's what this is all about. How they have been using all of these gases, these substances, physical things, trying to prevent the spiritual. This is what they're trying to do. They're using all of this physical stuff to stop the spiritual. And this is the reason that they still trying to get us caught up in the currency, this tied up in this money thing, in the Bitcoin, all of this nonsense, the same playbook, Bitcoin, all of this currency thing. So if there's no, and they're so worried about electricity because electricity isn't going to come the way they want it to, why would you go to a system based on, I don't know, 5D or whatever the hell they're talking about? I detach from that stuff. I don't even know. Why would you go into this look, credit card is already Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. It's already Bitcoin. All right? It's another electronic system being spewed a different way. This is all garbage. They're still trying to get caught up in the physical, keep our people caught up in the physical to stay away from the spiritual. Because, see, a lot of our people are out of those churches because the energy is being drawn from those churches because of the ley lines. And now the energy is being, oh boy, people got to figure out who they are. It's so important to know thyself. Gold, two types of gold. Some physical gold that they flaunt in front of us, and there is spiritual gold. They won't talk about that. It's so much deeper than what you see is all physical. This is what they're showing you. The spiritual is working on a whole different level. They're trying to stop the spiritual because they can't manipulate or control it. They have no way of manipulating or controlling the spiritual, including those who look like us, who are in cahoots with these creatures. They can't control it. And they know it, which is the reason they keep promoting this fear. And the reason that Putin is coming out with these pictures. Don't get caught up in those pictures because it's not as clear as black and white. They're trying to stop the hues from formulating on this plane. And the hues are based on, Remedy H keep telling you guys about the gold people. It's not just one hue. It's the purple people, it's the blues, it's the green, it's the yellow people, it's the magentas, it's the soft yellow people, all of these things are what we're dealing with. This is the reason I said if you're trapped in 10 sephirots, those 10 spears or wheels within wheels, if you're caught up in those 10, that's where you are. That's who you are. Because the spectrum is so much wider than that. So much wider. Right now, we're dealing with what, 15? If you're caught up in 10, you're never going to see those. You can't see what's really there because got you caught up in this black and white thing. No, 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 no. It's nothing to do with black or white. That is the racist garbage that they put out as a distraction to keep you from the truth. There are beings that I've seen online that, look Caucasian. But when they open their mouth, they're talking about, they're providing knowledge that we know nothing about. They've been into this knowledge for a long time. They're getting this knowledge from wherever it is that they came from. That outer shell is not what identifies us is spiritual beings talking about spiritual things. If you're still caught up and trapped in the physical, you can't get this. Green hydrogen is the holy grail for policymakers. There you go. All about policymakers, all about the physical, caught up in them making policies for the Hugh people, the Hugh beings, climate activists in the energy sector. It is made by electrolysis, a process that uses electricity to split water into hydrogen and oxygen. And the electricity must be provided by renewable energy, such as solar or wind. While production volumes are still low and the costs are high, around 350 projects are underway globally that could shift these economics. See, they're trying to use the periodic table, the elements on that, to create what they have listed in the AI chemistry table. And people got to, whoo, they're mixing all of these things. They're coming up. That's why you see these new elements identified on the periodic table of elements, because this is what they do. The organic on there and the inorganic is on there. Hydrogen is an organic gas that comes from the sun. When it's mixed, when they take it into these labs and they mix all of these other things with it, it's no longer the original, the organic gas that it was, because now it's something else. It's something inorganic. Anything that they create, anything that they create from the physical becomes inorganic. It's no longer spiritual. This is how they're perverting everything. This is how they perverted our minds. They already perverted the food. They perverted everything. Everything has been perverted. Natural flavors. Oh gosh. Ah! On some natural flavor. I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to go into that. Let me tell you guys something. We know nothing. We have been in a sleep state. I had a dream month or two ago. It may have been longer. Time has just gone by so fast. I had gone to this, I guess it was a shopping center, like a shopping mall or something. And I needed to go to the restroom. And I'm really funny about going to restrooms when I'm away from home. Always have been. I don't know, it's just something about it. But in this dream, I saw these two doors to different restrooms. And I didn't want to go through either, but I had to go to the restroom so bad. So I selected a door which turned out to be, if you don't know, doors are portals, okay? They can lead you in places that you don't want to be. And I went through this door that turned out to be a portal. And I walked out of it and I could see these porta toilet thingies. But I had to go to the restroom so bad. And I had to go down these stairs. And I saw this line of porta to- um, portal toilets in front of me, and I kept going down these stairs. And then all of a sudden, my peripheral vision caught me over to my right side. And I looked over there and I saw this building that was raised. And underneath this building, I saw these bodies, these giants. And they were lined up and they were sleeping. And I thought, how could anyone sleep? The place was so disgusting. But I was overwhelmed by the stench coming from these porta toilets. And I saw these these women, this rows and rows and rows of women that were giants. I was so overwhelmed. Sorry. I was so overwhelmed because no one could see it but me. Everybody was going to and fro, going to these porta toilets. And I could see these spilled and raised and these women asleep. This is the one I caught, they really caught my eye. She was asleep and it looked like she had this smile on her face and I couldn't understand. She had her hair in long braids and she had it in a rubber band in the back like a big ponytail. And she was asleep, but there were so many. And nobody could see this but me. Everybody was going to and fro to these toilets, and I went back upstairs. I couldn't go. I was so overwhelmed, and I cried. My heart was broken again. Every time I think I have seen it all, I realize I don't know a damn thing. I've seen nothing. Our people have gone through so much. Sorry. So much at the hands of these creatures. We don't even know the half of it. We don't know anything about what they've done to us. I just know what I'm seeing and I'm still overwhelmed by these things. But I do know that we have to continue to press forward. It's so important that we continue to press forward with what we have to do. I'm gonna leave the information, up regarding where I found this information about the hydrogen. If you guys want to go look at it, you can, okay? I'm not going to give my interpretation of the dream, okay? So let's move on. Picture that's on the screen right now is a picture I took in January. And if you look at it closely, you can see some lines up there um, in the colors. That is the hue beings. That's the resonance from the hue being, the harmony from the hue beings, the vibrations, okay? And it's in these colors. This is what they're looking at. So when you look up at the sky, this is the messages in the sky. This is the language to us. This is the language of light. These are the language of the rays. There is another language that goes with it when we did this People don't really get it about the Babylon thing. I don't know if I'm gonna go in that to that at any time. I don't know. But this is the language of light. This is part of it. So don't look up. Don't look up because you're going to see what's going on because these rays is transmitting knowledge. And only a few of us are going to get this knowledge, not many. So when you start talking about organics, the hue beings, the beings of color, you're talking about intelligence. This is the reason for the artificial intelligence. Everything else that's talking about artificial intelligence and programming, it is to subdue the organic intelligence, the organic programming. This is what they're trying to do. This is the replacement theology, esoterically speaking. Exoterically speaking, we already know what replacement theology is. But this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to replace the organic intelligence with artificial intelligence. This is the reason that they're doing the computers, everything that they are trying to create for themselves. The technology was so advanced in the past, it was organic, it was the original intelligence. Everything else now is artificial. This is the reason that, we weren't allowed to read because once we got into the books, the getting this information and moved away from what they were telling us, and we've really started getting into the consciousness, the awareness, the meditation. See, the meditation allows all of these things to come forth. The frame of mind, your state of mind. This is for the government, the mind control, so that they can govern our minds. It all fits, it all ties into the physical. All of the physical is a way to remove you from the spiritual. And our people have to get back to that. We have to get out of this inorganic frame of mind, thinking like these inorganic beings, and get back to the spiritual and away from the physical because everything materialistic is where they've had many of our people. And those who look like us have helped them do it. They've helped. I mean, when I saw that video that Remedy H put up there, as King James picture was there. What? I'm not talking about no Caucasian King James. I'm talking about the picture of King James. The people who and I have kept saying it, those behind that curtain, the Wizard of Oz, the ones behind the curtain that are pulling the strings. They look like us. They're just not us. So let's read about primary colors of light. And this is where I started some years ago trying to get clarity about the language of light, about the hue beings. Because before I didn't have all this, I had pieces of it. But now I have a lot more than what I had before. And when Remedy H put that video up, it really brought things together for me. Okay. So primary colors of light. The subject of color perception can be simplified if we think in terms of primary colors of light. We have already learned that white is not a color at all. Okay? So get that. White is not a color. This was created by these beings, okay, by these creatures. They created this to screw up our thinking. This is why they put the black and white in front of us. They're not colors. It's not a color. It's all a lie, but rather the presence of all the frequencies of visible light. Okay? Now, part of this is true and a part of it's not, because when you realize that white is not a color, then you think, okay, so what is it? It's a luminosity. It's everything illuminated that's illuminating that's coming from all of the other colors from the black. This is you really have to get this on your own, okay? This is why there's always been this fight against black and white, light and darkness. It all spiritually, it all comes together. But when you're stuck in the physical, you can't see it. You cannot see it. These are all frequencies. Color is frequency. It's all frequency. We're color people. They called us color. We didn't know why. I believe, what's her name? What's her name? That Henrietta Lacks. I believe the reason that they were still using her organs and still are today is because it was before we stopped being the colored people and they were changing us. You know, we were going through these years and years of transition. She was, I believe, could have been the last one of us that had not turned. So everything that they're using, they're still using all of her organs for everything. Even with this Schumann resonance, all of her organs, you know, is helping to project all this. This is what I believe. And I don't believe it's just her organs. This is why they were digging up our people. When we speak of white light, we are referring to the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The presence of the entire spectrum of visible light. Because see, this comes through, these are all the colors combined that end up being black. And in order to get to this frequency, okay, you have to go through the chakras, the sephirots. There are 12 of them. You can't get there with the 10. This is why. Oh boy. The light is hitting the crown. When they started that the corona mass ejections, this is the crown. The corona means crown. The corona, the mass, is the matter, the body. It's what's being ejected, okay, coming from the sun. Your sun is your solar plexus. I mean, this is a lot of information. I don't want to lose anybody, but you really have to get into this, because what's coming from that sun that we see is what's happening to the bodies of the illumined ones. It's not everybody that, and this is how they know what's going on. And this is why I say that they're using the information that they're gaining is coming from illuminated bodies. Okay? This is what I believe, and I'm entitled, because these people are wicked. But combining the range of frequencies in the visible light spectrum is not the only means of producing white light. White light can also be produced by combining only three distinct frequencies of light, provided that they are widely separated on the visible light spectrum. This is talking about the chakras. It doesn't sound like it, but it is, because I'll get into another video about that and how that works, okay? But when it's talking about the three different frequencies, the three colors, notice they put the three colors or frequencies of light, produce white light when combined with the correct intensity is called primary colors of light. So you have to have the right intensity or the right vibration, because they have to harmonize to move from one chakra or one wheel to the next one. It has to be the right frequency in your body. This is why they keep you in such a low frequency, vibrating low energy all the time. And that when you were in the churches, you were vibrating it's a different frequency. It keeps you in the lower chakras because of the fact that you're stuck on this Zeus entity. It's a whole nother topic. There are a variety of sets of primary colors. The most common set of primary colors is the red, green, and blue. When red, green, and blue light are mixed or added together with the proper intensity, luminosity is obtained. It's not white light, it's a luminosity. You're illuminated. This is often represented by the equation below, R plus G plus B equals W. All the time you're talking about primary colors and all this, you're talking about chakras and you don't even know it. This is how they created their physical earth. This is how they created their education system. They took everything spiritual and made it physical. This is why some of our people still operate in the physical and they can't leave it, caught up in the money. Money, 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 money. No. Oh boy, this is so far beyond that. There's no energy in money. It's a currency for them. It creates a currency for them when you're caught up in that. Oh boy. In fact, the mixing together or addition of two or three of these primary colors of light with varying degrees of intensity can produce a wide range of other colors. For this reason, many television sets and computer monitors produce a range of colors on the monitor by the use of red, green, and blue light emitting phosphors. So it's just a short video about the light. Red is a root chakra color. However, depending on how you're illuminating, it could be a crown chakra color. It depends on you, where you are, your intelligence. This is why they started doing this IQ thing. Oh boy, there's so many lies, so much deception. It's so overwhelming sometimes. It really is. I want you guys to know before I end this video, I had no intention of talking about my dream. That was not, never even came up in my mind to talk about that for this vid. That it just came out like that. So I'm going to end. I'm going to leave the information up here, as far as where you can find this knowledge if you're interested in learning more. There's so much more that we just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to come to you about the pineal gland in because it has so much to do with this, okay? But I just wanted to go and talk about the hues, give you guys a little information about the hues and the fear, okay? Because in the end, this is what they fear. This last picture, I'm going to show you this last picture, but this is what they fear. All praises, love, honor, devotion to the divine source. Because without it, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have this. Okay, much love to, the divine mother, and the beloved brother who is leading the way. Okay, shalom, angelics, shalom, angelics, shalom, angelics, and Gentiles. I'm gonna leave you this last picture. Okay, peace be unto you all.